What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. You know, some weird stuff happened yesterday with that whole Diablo 3 thing, but I guess you can look forward to seeing info about it today, and we'll probably talk about some of the press releases and stuff that come out today. Tomorrow on Newswave, we'll see if there's any new information or anything that we kind of missed out of that Forbes article, as other places will have their own articles out as well, so that'll be fun. We'll check all of that out. But today we have some fun stuff to get into as well, starting with Monster Hunter on the Switch. Now, this is from Capcom, of course, but Capcom actually sent us a code for it, so we'll be doing a review and even a preview on Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate on the Nintendo Switch. And if you're just getting ready for this game, you know, it's like 2 weeks out or so, well, you can actually go try it out today. A demo is actually published today on the eShop, and you can go download it and try it out yourself. They did this with Double Cross in Japan last year, and we even played it a bit here. It was hard because it was in Japanese, so I didn't really do much, but we still saw the visual style and everything, but at least now we'll have one release that we can read and check out and get ready, since, of course, it's out in less than 2 weeks now. So that's pretty exciting. And, of course, we'll keep you up to date with a full preview and then a full review pretty much right before it comes out for the reviews, so you can check that out as well. Also, we finally caught wind of something that the Switch has been missing this entire time, and it looks like we're not going to wait much longer. And that is a fishing rod. I know, right? You were probably waiting for that one too. No, Bass Pro Fishing appears to be doing what they did with the Wii, where they're coming out with a game and then a fishing rod. Nintendo Everything actually spotted this online. It was on Amazon Germany, and then they also spotted it on GameStop's website. And check this out. Here it is, and there's a fishing rod peripheral that comes with it as well. It's going to take advantage of the motion controls of those Joy-Con controllers, where they'll let you cast the line out, fight with the fish, pull in the line and everything. It looks pretty straightforward for what they're trying to do. Kind of reminds me, I guess, a bit of what we did with the Dreamcast back in the day. And like I said, we've seen this with the Wii before, so this technically isn't very new, and it makes sense why they would then move to the Switch, which is really popular, and put out a fishing game. I know people like fishing games. I know that's a thing. And there seem to be a couple different prices. I've seen $70 on Amazon for Amazon Germany. I've seen $50 on GameStop site, because the peripheral there included isn't like expensive. It's probably just a piece of plastic that really doesn't do a lot. I mean, I guess it's on like what would that be? I guess like an axis where it can spin and everything, but it's not actually sending information. That's all up to the Joy-Con controls. But hey, if you like fishing games and you wanted one on the Switch that has, I guess, a peripheral that lets you pretend like you're fishing inside, and you want to wait long, it's coming out October 16th according to the listing in North America, and in Europe it'll be coming out November 2nd. So there you go. You can do some fishing on your Switch. Oh, and one other thing before we start, Spider-Man. Okay, so we know this is coming out in like 3 weeks, right? And it looks amazing. Everyone's really excited for it. At least everyone I've talked to is really excited for it. It looks like it's going to be a great time. They put out a new trailer for kind of to show off the open world. It was pretty fun. It was kind of Peter Parker kind of calling in and talking to I think it was Jameson about Spider-Man being a menace to the town and everything. Of course, that's kind of his shtick, is to try to ostracize Spider-Man. But it does look like actually most of the city is against him, and then we see this open world trailer where he's kind of running around helping people. People are friendly to him and everything, and he does the big swan dive off, which everyone's going to do that, right? Everyone's going to go to the Empire State Building, jump off, and web sling at the last minute. That's what we did with the PS2 and the GameCube and the Xbox version, and we're going to do it with this version too. But when he swan dived off, it actually showed the Avengers Tower, which was cool. So man, I'm ready for this game. This game is going to be awesome. At least from what we've seen, it will be. I still need to play it and see how it controls and everything, but that's coming September 7th, so we won't have to wait long, about 3 weeks. All right, with some of the quick news out of the way, guys, let's get into some of the bigger stuff, starting with a new Nintendo Switch bundle that seems to be kicking off, I guess, kind of their fall/holiday run, where they're going to probably put out a few other bundles. This one was interesting because it seems to do what a lot of people wanted them to do, which was include 1-2 Switch, at least kind of, like with the system. People always say 1-2 Switch should be a bundled in-game, and it kind of is on this bundle. I would look at it as 1-2 Switch being free. Anyway, here's the bundle. They actually tweeted this out, and yes, it has Mario Tennis Aces, and it has 1-2 Switch, and it's $359. Okay, it's coming out September 5th. So $359 tells me that, okay, I guess we would consider you paying for Mario Tennis Aces and 1-2 Switch is free. This is kind of a weird direction. See, I would have just thrown a game in. I would have just been like, oh, it comes with 1-2 Switch and it's still $300, right? Now, I guess you can't say they were incorrect in selling 1-2 Switch separately because it's still sold well enough, right? It's like 2 million or so units, which is massive for that game considering the game's not very good. It's a party game, I guess, but it's not like a good game that you would sit around and play for long. But hey, they got money for it, I guess. And it did show off the Switch's functionality at those press events and those public events they did. I even went to one, and yeah, that was probably the best game just to try out things like HD Rumble and kind of the multiplayer effect that it had, as opposed to just, you know, Street Fighter, where you're not really using any of that stuff. No, this is interesting because I would have gone in a different direction. Instead of charging more and including an extra game, I would have charged the same and included one of the two. Obviously, if you can put Mario Tennis Aces in there for $300, that's a slam dunk because that game is really good, and if it's free, it's even better. But they don't want to devalue any of their games, and by putting something like a Mario Tennis in there and making it free, I guess Nintendo sees that as them devaluing it, but they have added games in. I can go get a 2DS right now and get New Super Mario Bros. 2 or Mario Kart with it for free, and I just think that would have been a better option than to tack more money on and then sell it. But I guess, hey, if you're already going to get, if you're going to go this holiday and get a Switch and Mario Tennis Aces, it would have cost you $360 anyway. So I guess you would just be getting 1-2 Switch for free, or you're getting Mario Tennis Aces for free. I would look at it more so as getting 1-2 Switch for free. So there you go. 1-2 Switch is kind of a packing game now. Next up, let's talk about THQ Nordic. Was Nordic Games, picked up THQ, turned themselves into THQ Nordic in 2016 or so, and here they are now. They keep buying up IPs and studios, keep absorbing studios. I keep telling you guys, how many times have I told you guys about THQ Nordic and to keep an eye on them because they keep building up their library of IPs, games they can pick from, revive to bring back and everything. And they've been doing that. We just saw Titan Quest get released, right? They keep doing De Blob 2, and some others. And now we see them kind of rolling into the holiday with Darksiders 3, a game that I think more people are excited than people... I'm really excited for that game. I think there are a lot of people who are, and mostly because I like Darksiders 1, 2 is okay, but I like kind of the premise and the idea of 3. Well, it looks like THQ Nordic is not slowing down when it comes to acquiring IPs. They're doing this in a very smart way. See, yesterday, they acquired what I would consider to be one bigger IP that they can do a lot with, and then one that they can remaster. And you can kind of guess which ones I'm talking about. The first is TimeSplitters, and the second is Second Sight. Second Sight was a game back in 2004 that came out on the Xbox, PS2, and GameCube, and it was kind of a mixture of stealth, action, and psychic powers. That sounds cool, and it's because it was. Back then I remember actually playing it a lot on my original Xbox. That's what I played it on. It actually came out a little more than a year before the 360 dropped the next year in 2005, so it gave plenty of time for people to play it, and I liked it. I thought it was kind of a game that's, even now, is kind of under the radar, but they didn't really have much other than that one game for that IP. The one that's very valuable, I think, even today, is TimeSplitters. I'm sure most of you who are maybe a little older or remember the PS2, the Xbox, and the GameCube era have fond memories of TimeSplitters. Specifically, I remember playing TimeSplitters 2 a lot on the PS2, and I loved that series. Some people, I think, played Future Perfect and liked Future Perfect, but man, TimeSplitter 2 was killer, and now THQ Nordic has both. They actually got them from Crytek. Yeah, Crytek's had it this whole time, and they haven't done anything with it. So here comes THQ Nordic, grabs it from Crytek, who's not really in a position to do anything with these IPs, but THQ Nordic has already said they have plans for both. And if I take a guess, I would say Second Sight would probably be a good candidate for remastering and re-releasing, like kind of how they did with Titan Quest, right? They don't have to clean it up. I mean, they have to clean it up, but it doesn't have to get too ridiculous. And they could do a re-release on that, and I would play it again. I think that'd be fun. TimeSplitters. This one needs a brand new game. You could take that IP, you can make a new game, online multiplayer, co-op, the whole thing, and I think it would do well. Honestly, I think a lot of you guys remember TimeSplitters, and I think you guys would probably buy into it. Let me know down in the comments if you would do that, because when I saw TimeSplitters and I saw THQ Nordic, I said, oh, here we go. Okay, THQ Nordic will actually do something with that IP, and I'm excited. It's going to be a little bit. It's going to be like 2 years probably before we even hear anything about it if they have recently started production of this, but keep in mind, as they themselves said in their press release, okay, TimeSplitters was originally created by the development studio Free Radical Design, and guess where they are now? They became Deep Silver Dambuster, and they are part of THQ Nordic. So they essentially have the original developing studio that did TimeSplitters now with THQ Nordic. So if you're a TimeSplitters fan, this is much better news than Crytek sitting on it for as long as they have. So get excited. It's going to be a little bit, but I think they got something up their sleeve for TimeSplitters. Next up, let's talk about the Media Create sales charts. These are, of course, the sales charts in Japan that give us an idea of physical sales pretty much week to week. And this week we're going to see, again, pretty big Switch sales in terms of systems. And we're going to see some new entries on the sales charts. And it wasn't actually a Switch game that topped the sales charts. Let's take a look at the top 10 right here. You're going to see Yakuza 3, number 1 on the PS4 at 26,047. That's right, a game with 26,000 units actually topped the charts. It's been kind of a slower time over there. Currently, Splatoon 2 at number 2. Taiko No Drum and Fun, that is, of course, the drum game from Bandai Namco at number 3. Fire Pro Wrestling, a brand new entry at number 4. That actually is in there at number 4 at 20,218. Cool to see Fire Pro Wrestling World in there. I think they also have plans. I keep hearing them talk about possibly bringing it to the Switch as well, but we'll see about that. So far, though, good entry there on the PS4 for that type of a game. WarioWare Gold at number 5, and then Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Minecraft, Mario Tennis Aces, Pro Baseball on the Switch, and then we have Bullet Girls Fantasia. That's a new entry on the PS4. If you're curious where Okami HD is, because that was a physical release in Japan, that's actually number 11 on the Switch, and then Layton's Mystery Journey, that was actually all the way down level 5. That was all the way down at number 15, 9,704, so unfortunately that did not manage to crack 10,000 units. Moving over to the hardware, Nintendo Switch 50,143. Yes, the Switch continues to just crack off week after week of 50,000, 50,000. So they've been rolling along very well. That is down from last year, from 87,798. But the year-to-date currently is still higher than last year's year-to-date. And of course, we'll be moving into when Pokemon and stuff come out this year, and it's going to get pretty much out of hand. And it is coming up on that 5 million mark lifetime. There's still roughly 170,000 or so units off from that. The PS4, 22,026. That's actually up from last week, which makes sense since they have a lot of new releases. And they are less than 3,000 units away for the PS4 to reach 7 million lifetime to date sold in Japan, which is massive for a straight-up home console that has no portable aspect to it. 10,910 for the 3DS, a little bit down there. The PlayStation Vita, 3,507, that's actually a little up. And strangely, the Xbox One is exactly flat at 74 units. I also want to give the Xbox One credit, as they're now 1,500 units away, actually a little less 1,500 units away from 100,000 units in Japan, which is a big milestone for them. They're going to need to get some bigger weeks in, but coming up on the holidays, I could see them getting a couple 400, 500 unit weeks just because it's the spending season. So I could see them getting there, to be honest, probably before the end of the year. And that would be pretty cool to see the Xbox get to that point. I know we see the Switch and the PlayStation 4 sell that well, sometimes in a single week, but still, it'd be neat to see the Xbox, which heavily struggles in Japan, to at least get to that 100,000 milestone. Otherwise, it was a pretty straightforward week with Yakuza topping the charts, which makes sense that came out. I like to see Fire Pro Wrestling in the top 5 as well. Thought that was pretty cool. But yes, the Switch still had a pretty large presence in the top 20, taking several spots. And of course, the usual suspects like Splatoon still in there, not going anywhere. Mario Kart still in there, not going anywhere. So the Switch will continue to have most of the spots just because of the games they have just having a amazing staying power in the charts. But to see Yakuza, which still has a ton of power in Japan, just kind of show up and take over the charts is good to see as well. And the Switch continuing its pace at 50,000 units pretty much every week now going into the holidays. It looks like it's set up to pass the PS4 before the end of this year, but we'll have to see. Then in our last bit of news, let's talk about Intel at SIGGRAPH 2018, really teasing their entry into the discrete graphics card field. Now, we've heard of them doing this in the past, but from what we've seen, they've canceled it several times. I mean, they canceled it so many times, but what was cool was Linus from Linus Tech Tips actually managed to get a prototype card, and it was a whole thing. That was actually a really cool video to see. But it looks like Intel is finally ready. They posted a video on their Twitter account that was pretty much going over all of the little accomplishments they've done. Seems to be codenamed Arctic Sound discrete graphics card, and it's not coming to 2020, but it makes sense considering they did pick up the graphics engineer from AMD, Raja Kaduri, and that was actually last year in 2017. So to be able to turn around in like 2.5 years and have a discrete video card or cards ready by 2020 is pretty good. That's not easy to do. And what I really want from Intel is competition for NVIDIA, because I still think NVIDIA is the best video card producer for gamers. But I mean, let's be real. They don't have heavy competition for AMD. They've gotten kind of lackadaisical. They don't really pump out cards like they used to or push heavily. And I think if Intel showed up in 2020 and really put some heat on them along with AMD, I could see NVIDIA really start to move quickly and do some big things for gamers. And of course, pricing is the biggest thing, so I hope they show up in 2020. I hope they really make some noise in the video card space, just so we can get cheaper, more mid-range, more budget-friendly video cards, as well as some ridiculous top-of-the-line stuff for like $500 or so to things that we're paying $600-700 for now. That would be really cool. I would like to see the return of that $200 video card that is ridiculous in terms of price to performance, but that's something we might have to wait for as well. As long as miners are around, I feel like those prices are just always going to be higher than they should. Then guys, that's where I'm going to leave Newswave today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you guys like the video if you liked it, dislike it if not. Leave comments down below about everything we talked about today. How do you feel about THQ Nordic picking up not only Second Sight, but TimeSplitters? Let me know if you're excited for the possibility of TimeSplitters showing up in a year or two at like E3 or even at Gamescom, and they're like, hey, TimeSplitters, go ahead and pre-order it. I feel like people would freak out like it's, like it's 2000 all over again. I think it'd be really cool to see. What about the bundle for the Switch and Spider-Man? What's your hype level like right now about three weeks out? My hype level is through the roof. I'm ready for this game to keep showing it, and I'm just ready to buy it at this point. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.